What's this? Oh!
I am the football genie, and I am here to grant you 3 wishes. Choose very carefully.
I want the DQ frenzy to be back.
Your wish is my command! Whoa!
We're back!
We're back! Oh, it felt so good. Felt so good. Apologies, guys, that you haven't seen. Yours truly in a lot of weeks, especially Quinn. I know I did an episode with Matt and Ian a few weeks ago, but then there was no episode last week because I got a little case of the stomach bug. It was horrible. It was miserable. But guess what? We are back to talk about more misery from both our teams. And Quinn, it's been 2 weeks. Feels good to be back. You take over the hosting duties because we haven't heard you talking in a while. So go ahead.
Yeah, I'm hosting this episode. Yay, we're back for a proper episode. The week before Thanksgiving, we had to record because it's Thanksgiving. There's like a billion games going on before Sunday, you know? So we can't just not.
Why would you eat with your families when you could just listen to us?
Yeah, exactly. Even better, you can listen to us beforehand with your family. Wow, who'd have thought? Anyway, we're gonna start with some news, and we're gonna sprinkle some other news in throughout the episode, make it a little more fun and a little more spread out. So we're gonna start with just one big piece of news, and that's Brandon Ayiuk and his drama with the 49ers in the contract. So if you remember back before the season started, Ayuk's like, I want a new contractor, trade me. There's all this talk of trading him. Dylan thought he was going to get the Steelers at one point, and he got DK Metcalf instead, so that's fun. But all this, oh, will he go, will he not? And the 49ers are like, fine, I'll pay you. And they pay him, and he gets hurt like right away. He already was dealing with the injury, I think, before that too, but so he's out, and that's not great. But whatever. But I believe over this past weekend, just recently, the 49ers voided Ayuk's 2026 guaranteed money, basically costing him 27 million during training camp and setting unmet contract requirements. He had signed a 4-year, 120 million extension, 24, but the relationship has soured. Um, I mean, what's interesting is Ayuk hasn't asked the NFLPA to challenge a move, which kind of signals that he wants out. But I mean, he was talking about getting traded before, and now the rumors are back that the Niners want to cut him or trade him, and this is preparation for that, making it a little easier for another team to go, okay, we'll pick up your contract and actually get rid of him. But very interesting. I mean, the Niners are they deal with their players some ways. I mean, between not telling anyone that CMC is going to be hurt and out for all of last season to winning a contract, which I don't know. There's stuff going on behind the scenes which we don't know, but still crazy. Dylan, thoughts, feelings, emotions?
Well, going into more detail, when you mentioned Quinn, why he didn't go to the NFLPA for this, seems like there's some evidence as to his contract not like doing the tasks that were required. He apparently was failing to attend meetings and declined to participate in activities. So it gave the Niners the right to void it, and you can't do anything about that because when you when you miss meetings, that's what happens. And I wonder, even when he got extended, if he just did it for the money, Myles Garrett style, but really doesn't want to be on the team itself. He just wants to get paid because now he's injured again, out for the season. The dude's been injury prone for years now. I used to vouch for him, honestly, when he was in his prime and they were consistently make it to the NFC Championship game, Super Bowl. So he was the star, but then he just couldn't stay in the field. and he's not helping his case with this. The Niners proved that they honestly don't need him. Look at all these injuries they have on that team, and they are still 7-4 and in contention for a playoff spot. I'm sorry, Ayiuk. You can leave and go to a crappy team, go to like the Jets or a team that needs a receiver, and go stick up the joint there. I think the Patriots were one of the top teams this offseason that could have gotten him. And I bet right now Ayiuk kind of wishes he was there, looking at how good he is and look at a young Drake May. They could definitely use a guy like him. So it seems like he played his last down as a Niner. I know a lot of people were saying that at the end of this season, but when you sign an extension and immediately it's this bad right off the gate, not just injury wise, but just personally with the team, he's done. Kevin Lynch is a pretty ruthless GM. Like, he's not afraid to make moves when he needs to. So pack your bags, Brandon. Probably going somewhere else next year. Niners drama. Gotta love it, though, right?
Yeah, falling apart. Who would have thought? But anyway,
That's
like
not
I
the
said, we're gonna
Thanksgiving
sprinkle in.
spirit.
Yeah, exactly. We're not thankful for the Niners.
Nope.
Anyway, so there'll be some other news that comes in, mostly like injuries that we'll talk about during the games and such. But we're gonna jump to the game recaps, and because I'm hosting, we're gonna start with the Eagles game. I won't drag this out too long. I know a lot of people are
Oh, we
overreacting.
should. Oh, we should drag this out for eternity.
How about through 2 quarters?
Cowboys.
I'm not clapping. Anyway, the Eagles got off to a 21-0 lead. Cowboys got a touchdown
Did they?
before halftime, and then the Cowboys got scored 17 more
Oh.
points, so 24
Ooh.
unanswered points.
Oh.
Eagles missed a field goal, and yeah, our offense, no. Kamatulo can scheme good plays for the first half, but then when other teams like adapt, come out and be like, all right, we're gonna change this, he's like, you can't change that. I played against you. You're gonna do what I want. And then they don't do what he wants, and then it goes, yeah. I mean, I was kind of expecting the defense to let up a bit. They've been doing a phenomenal job the past 2 weeks. They're not perfect. Neither side of the football is. And so it's going to happen when one side's been playing great and then they don't play as well. I was impressed that the offense got off to a pretty good start, but then, like I said, they just fizzled out. I'm not surprised that they lost to the Cowboys. Last year was an exception where we won both games. Usually we split. Even when the Cowboys are bad, like this year, and the Eagles are good, we'll split. When the Cowboys were good and the Eagles were bad, we split. When both were good, both were bad, both were middle, we still split. It's just how the rivalry works. So it's annoying, but we're still doing pretty darn good. I think we're still the 2 seed. Rams have the 1 seed, but it's frustrating, but that's football. It's that rivalry.
In the Kelly Greens, though, man. Weirdly
Yeah,
enough,
that
Kelly Greens on the road, you lose like
the
that with
undefeated
those beautiful
streak of the
uniforms.
Kelly Green, it's gone.
Ugh. I mean, yeah, it's you have to blame the offense for the loss for not keeping it going in the second half. Like, it's crazy how explosive they looked in the first half, especially with the passing game. AJ Brown with that huge touchdown. And it was just all the passing game, really. The running game really didn't do anything. Saquon, interestingly, only 10 carries. That's another Batuo issue. Kind of just the
Big
inconsistency
issue.
with play calls. Way too predictable. And they stalled way too much. And Cowboys, I mean, their defense hasn't really been that good this year, but they made the stops when they needed to. Obviously, some of the gaff turnovers, like the muff punt by Philly, even though it really didn't lead to anything, that's still mistakes that can't be happening. And just the missed field goal, like you said, and just the defense folded. George Pickens, oh my goodness. I'm not going to be salty as a Steeler fan because people are saying they should have never gotten rid of him. He's in a better situation. He's got a better, way better quarterback than he ever did in Pittsburgh. So I feel like it's just the right fit. Like, some of the catches he made again, just the ball control he has is insane. CD did good too, but Pickens was the star of the show. And basically, it was him and Dak kind of leading the way slowly but surely, leading to the game winner. Aubrey, I think, missed a kick earlier,
He
which you
did,
never
yeah.
see out of him. But then he hit the game winner, which also barely got in. But it's a well-deserved win for the Cowboys. Like you said, when everyone's healthy, they usually split. I was even in the video saying, like, I was tempted to pick them because they just usually do split, and usually it's the home team that wins. But I didn't think Dallas was that good. But I guess that tragedy, it was awful what happened to that player, but they're fueled by it. I'll say that much. They are fueled, and they're looking really good. I know that just angers Quinn inside, but Philly's got to get it together, or they might lose in the playoffs with this offense right now. Which, if you want Patua fired, go right ahead, Philly.
There's rumors about demoting him, which I think should be done. But
But
that's
I
just
wonder, like, what, taking the play calling, so I guess Sirianni would start play calling? Has he ever done that before? This is like
well, there's been
2023 all
issues
over
where
again.
yeah. Oh, Sirianni calling the plays. Is he interfering? These are bad plays. These are weird. I actually don't know whether it actually was Sirianni calling before. I think or calling plays. I think we would bring up someone else from like our uh,
It was like
someone in our
what?
organization that's
Osai,
not
Osai or whoever 2 years ago that you guys were mad
Josiah.
at.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's
Sean
like every two
Desai.
years you have a coordinator that you can't stand because your really
You
good
hire from
coordinator goes and
within, and
becomes a head
then
coach.
yeah, it's like, oh great, we hired what two we 4 years ago was the Colts or ex-Colts coordinator Frank Reich. I believe it was 4 years ago. He was great. He got a job, and then we brought in I think Desai, and then he was bad. We got rid of him, and then we had Kevin Patricia as an like assistant on there, come in and give like do yeah, he was defensive coordinator, so on Desai. Anyway,
Well, there's
basically
what, Shane Steichen, there was
you're
Jonathan
yeah,
Gannon.
Shane Steichen.
Those
Yeah,
are,
that
yeah.
yeah. Steichen was 4 years ago. Then he left. We got a different offensive coordinator from inside our building who was bad. Got rid of him. Then we hired from outside and got the Cowboys' old offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore. And then he did great. And then he got a job with the Saints. And then we hired from within Kevin Patullo. Now he's bad.
It's like an
So
endless cycle. It's insane.
stop stealing our offensive coordinators league. Get your own. Jeez, bastards. Just let us enjoy having consistency. At least we got Vic Fangio. He doesn't want to go anywhere. He's old and his family's in Philly. And he was a head coach in
It
Denver. And
wasn't
he's like,
good.
not again. I'm staying here. I got a good defensive core. I'm just staying put. We just need another one of them.
Yep, definitely. No,
Anyway,
Quinn doesn't
now that
have
that
thanks
rant's
for the
over.
coordinators.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from, but that happened. So anyway, we can move on to the Steelers game. Yay!
Please
Um,
no.
Pennsylvania also lost. The Steelers played the Bears. They actually had a pretty good chance to win.
Steelers are going to the Super Bowl.
That music confused me. I thought there was
They're
something
going.
making some sound in my room, but there is not. It's just Dylan's depression. Dylan, take us through what happened here.
Well, you see, I got sick, and that's why we lost now.
That'll do it.
No, but in all seriousness, here we go again with this defense. We had so much hope that this highest paid defense was kind of back to form, and here we go again. I mean, there were some diamonds in the rough with the TJ strip sack of the touchdown. I'll give him that. And that was just kind of really Caleb's only dumb play of the game was doing that. Sorry, starting again. Stop it, Siri. Anyway,
During technical difficulties, please think about your favorite team. We're back.
we're back. But yeah, that was one of Caleb's only not smart plays, was just running right at TJ. But besides that, he looked incredible. I mean, he was not the most accurate, but man, some of the third down conversions he made were clutch. DJ Moore, who was been really struggling all year, had 2 touchdowns. Loveland had a touchdown. Monangai didn't even do that great. He scored, but he only had 48 yards. It was really Caleb just constantly throwing to everybody. Like, no one stood out. He threw to like a bunch of different receivers and looked efficient. While Mason looked okay, he did throw a pick at the beginning that was a really good play. Running game, though, was really the offense with the Gainwell-Warren dynamic duo, which it has been. It's been good. They combined to get over 150 yards. Warren got the touchdown. Even DK rushed for a touchdown. But again, receivers are the problem. DK is getting double covered, so he's not doing much, and we don't have a number 2 to help. And that's what killed us at the end. That end of the game where we threw a bunch of like short pattern passes. Quinn, you and I could both relate to dumb offensive coordinators because we got one too, and we want Arthur Smith out. Because what was some of that play calling? The 2-yard slants, the screen passes, when you need a field goal. And then Mike Tomlin, I understand that kick was probably like almost 70 yards, but choosing to go for it and get the pass tipped when Boswell's the best kicker in the league, I trust him more than Mason Rudolph. Just bad decision making all around throughout the game. It was a winnable game. They found a way to piss away. That's a urinate tree quote. You can quote him on it because that's what the Steelers are great at. It's not like an awful loss. The Bears are a great team. This is a resurgent year for them. But it was a game we could have won, and we kind of needed to because guess who's back in first place in the AFC North? The Ravens. We all saw it coming, and there it is. Would it have been better with Aaron? Maybe, maybe not. I remember there was a play where I don't know if you saw during the game, Quinn, where the team was like in illegal formation or illegal shift, and Aaron on the sideline was like, illegal shift, no! He knew. Because Mason's inexperience, I guess, he didn't know how to line up his receivers, or the receivers didn't know what they were doing. It was a mess. It was a mess all around. It was a good game, but I mean, it was a frustrating game because it was winnable. But the Bears, good for you. I guess somehow leaders of the NFC North. How about that?
How about that? Yeah, you know what this guy does? He texts me after the Eagles lose and says, you know what? Should I say it? I'm going to say it. How about them Cowboys? Nonsense.
I had to
Anyway, moving
fuel my
on to...
depression somehow. I had to.
Yeah. Even though I didn't like it, it was funny, I have to admit. Anyway, enough from our own pain and suffering. Just recapping some interesting game outcomes. The Texans beat the Bills. Texans had like 5 sacks of the Bills. Crazy. Bills also lost. So, I mean, I guess good teams are just losing this week. Except not for the Kansas City Chiefs on the Chiefs train, winning in overtime against the Colts.
You didn't
Really
even pick them.
Yeah, I didn't. They burned me from last week, and I'm like, man, me. I made some not great picks this week. This being one of them, but I mean, the Chiefs are fighting. They're scrappy. They want to get back in the playoffs because they're like, Cancun in January. No, sir. We wanted in them playoffs. So, they won in overtime. Mahomes engineered a classic comeback. Chiefs are kind of getting back to their old selves a bit. Otherwise, the Packers demolished the Vikings. JJ McCarthy is not in.
9 sucks.
Yeah. 9? 9.
He is going to forever regret saying that about his alter ego.
Yeah. 9?
His alter ego is about to become 9 to 5. He keeps playing like that.
Yeah, very true. Another overtime game. The Lions beat the Giants 34-27.
That was game of the week to me. That was a fun game.
Them. But it's because Jameis Winston was starting for him. Famous Jameis. You know, he was. You gotta love it, right?
Dude, how about that touchdown he caught?
Have
you ever seen a quarterback catch a touchdown like that? Just catching a really hard pass and then just stiff arming the dude and then scoring and then having a fun dance at the end. Jameis is a national treasure, never retire.
Yes. He's one of the most entertaining quarterbacks out there. Period. I mean,
he may throw a crap ton of
picks. Yeah, only one. And one sack. Yeah, he made Wan'Dale Robinson look like a star receiver with 156 yards and a touchdown. Like, huh? Crazy. Um, but yeah, kudos to the Giants for fighting back. They almost could have had it. There's some, I believe, trick plays the Giants tried to get off,
But then
but
Jameer
it just,
Gibbs and St. Brown happens. They
yeah.
went off.
Yeah, so really good game. Kudos to I can't say the Giants. Kudos to Jameis Winston. I like that guy. Anyway, that was a fun game. Patriots beat the Bengals. Browns, Shador Sanders' first start beat the Raiders. He didn't look too bad. I have his stats a little later for y'all for a certain segment.
Did you see the
But
one play where Shador threw like a nice pass on the rollout and Miles Garrett on the sidelines like he's never seen that before because he's had terrible quarterbacks his whole career besides Baker.
yeah.
Miles Garrett's like, I didn't know quarterbacks can do this on my
Yeah,
team.
I didn't know Brad's quarterbacks could do this. I've seen others, but like that's not allowed. That has to be a flag. Where's the flag, ref? But so impressive for the Browns there. Jags also won an overtime game against the Cardinals. Let's see. Falcons beat the Saints in New Orleans. Rams destroyed the injured Bucks, and the Niners beat the
Oof.
Panthers.
Oof. Have you
But
ever seen a more Trevor Lawrence stat than 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions? Does that not perfectly encapsulate his career? Like that,
it
the
really does.
potential, the 3 touchdowns, like, oh, it's just there. And then he throws 3 picks.
Yeah, he was supposed to be the new star, what Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, and he's just kind of mid.
Mid.
But yeah, not that we won't go too in depth, but are there any other games you want to talk about a little more, Dylan?
Well, I'll go in depth for that Chiefs game just because one of the bigger games of the week. It looked like the Chiefs just had the ball pretty much most of the game. And the Colts couldn't do really anything after the first 2 quarters. Uh, Daniel Jones threw for 2 touchdowns, but really just like couldn't find anybody open. Jonathan Taylor, Chiefs defense completely shut him down. Only 58 yards. Seems like the Chiefs they're what the heck's their defensive coordinator's name? Sorry, Spags. The the infamous Spags, the Blitz King himself. I'm bad with names, sorry. But seems like that defense is back to his true form again. And look out if that's the case, because that'll win them some games. Chiefs offense, it wasn't pretty. Mahomes didn't even throw for a touchdown. But Kareem Hunt, 30 carries. It's insane. It's like it's 2017 again with how much they're giving him the ball. But he did get 104 yards and a touchdown. Rashee Rice getting it together again with
Rice.
141. Yes, indeed. Yeah, and the Chiefs just did in the fourth quarter at overtime just efficiently moved the ball and was able to win. It's two good defenses. You kind of expected a score like this. They're two of the better just overall defenses in the league. But the Chiefs are just a better team. Mahomes, you just trust a little more in the clutch than Daniel Jones right now, despite Mahomes' flaws this season. And I don't want to say it saved their season, but kind of got them back in the playoff contention. The division's going to be tough for them, but at least the playoffs should be looking good for them. The Patriots, I mean, the biggest thing I guess to take away from that game is just the injuries. I think they lost 2 of their linemen. I think Will Campbell being one of them, but I don't think he's going to be out that long. But they need that because remember how bad their line was before this year? Can't be killing Drake Bay out there. I mean, the Bengals tried to make it a fight, but the Patriots are just the more efficient team overall. And yeah, they were just the more talented team. But it's weird. I feel like teams like the Bengals and Giants specifically, they're kind of the most entertaining bad teams we've seen. Like the Giants just with
Yeah.
Jameis, they always compete. They'd honestly be a playoff team if they didn't blow it in the fourth quarter like 5 times this season. They'd be in the mix, but they're a fun 2-10 team. And even the Bengals, for as miserable as their fans are, I don't really think they've been blown out a lot this year. They've kind of kept it competitive because of Flacco. It's just defense could be so putrid that they can't win. And yeah, just any other game. Seattle, I think, was the only one we didn't mention. They were up big. Tennessee almost had a comeback. I think Cam Ward probably had his best game. but the dude literally has no weapons around him. He has no help, and Sam Darnold's got plenty of help. In Jigba, he had a great game with 2 touchdowns, 167 yards. I think he's overall the wide receiver one. I think stats wise, probably the best receiver playing right now, besides maybe Puka. And yeah, Seattle, I think, still legit. I think that loss against LA was just a competitive game. But yeah, it was this week. I wouldn't say it was like insane in terms of any monumental upsets. Maybe the only ones being the Texans and Cowboys pulling it off, which even then, the Bills have looked pretty fraudulent, and the Texans defense is just really good. I mean, and they're winning so much it's causing a controversy for some reason with Davis Mills against CJ Stroud. I don't know why that's the case, but
What do you
yeah,
mean? That's perfectly reasonable.
stop it. But yeah, kind of like a light week in terms of upsets, but fun games, fun season.
Yeah,
We give thanks
fun
to that.
season.
You
We
tired of us saying thanks yet? Because I'm gonna keep saying it all day.
Well, just a brief Google search. The offensive player of the year leader right now is Jonathan Taylor, followed by Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and then other guys, we don't care about them. Anyway, but we're gonna move on now to, I believe we're gonna do some power rankings.
And per usual, for those who don't know how Quinn and I do it, we rank 10 through 6. Each of us give our 10s through 6, and then our 5 through 1. Quinn, I'm going to give you the courtesy. You go first.
Thank you. I am hosting, so it only makes sense. I'll go first. So number 10, I have the Bears. They've been doing pretty well, but they're at 10. Number 9, I have the Broncos. They had a bye week, so they moved down a little bit just because they haven't played. Number 8, I have the Buffalo Bills, who lost to the Texans. The Texans do have a scary defense. Bills misstepped a little bit, but that's going to happen. Number 7, I have the Detroit Lions with their overtime win. Fun times, although it was against the Giants, so it's kind of like, well, you know. And then number 6, I had the Green Bay Mother Loving Packers beating the crap out of the Vikings.
All right, so honorable mentions I got. The Chiefs are not on this list, and the Lions are not on this list,
Wow.
surprisingly enough.
Wow,
I don't
wow.
know. They barely beat a not that good Giants team, and they're in third in their division. At number 10, I got the Baltimore Ravens on the top 10 list. Pretty ugly win against the Jets, and I know the Chiefs beat them earlier this year, but the reason I got Baltimore above them, they're leading their division. It's a bad division, but they're leading it nonetheless. Number 9, I got the Bills. Again, just an ugly game overall. The offensive line looked pretty bad. Allen had no time. Even despite that miraculous fourth down play at the end, it just wasn't enough. And the Bills, you're just worried just because now the Pats are kind of creeping back. Not even creeping back. They're just like, you know what? Evil Empire back. Number 8, I got the Green Bay Mother Loving Packers. At least they got the defense. The offense still needs some work, but man, McCarthy had problems all day with that pass rush, and the secondary is looking as good as ever. But I got the Bears above the Packers. Sorry, Packers fans.
Wow.
Bears fans, stroke your ego. I got the Bears at 7. I mean, they're 8-3. They're one of the hottest teams in the league. They don't win pretty, but they win. That's all that matters, right? Unless it
Yeah.
doesn't. Or except when it doesn't. Number 6, I got the Indianapolis Colts. Falling a little bit. We didn't do power rankings last week, obviously, but yeah, they've kind of been falling a little bit off these past few weeks, and they got a tough schedule coming up, which worries me a little bit, especially with their offense and Daniel Jones maybe regressing back to Giant form. I hope not. We love Indiana Jones, but I mean, I still think they're a playoff team. It's going to be a tough road. So the Colts 6.
All right. I have the Colts at 5. But what I think is interesting is you're like, oh, the Colts are so much better than everyone else in their division, right? Well, the AFC South in last place is the Titans at 1-10. Not surprising, but just somebody who's funny to see someone with 10 losses. so far this season. Then we have the Texans 6-5. We have the Jaguars at 7-4, one game behind the Colts at 8-3. I didn't really think about the Jags, but they're
I don't
sneaky
think
good.
any of us
Yeah,
have. They are
sneaky good
they
record.
might be the weirdest team in the league this year. The
Yeah,
Jags out of
still
anybody.
like impressive though. They're up here. I mean, their win percentage is 63.6, so it's not absolutely phenomenal, but still like impressive. Like, huh? But they're not on my list, but they're an honorable mention. Number four, I have the Seahawks. They vary. I don't really know how to feel about them overall, but I think they're doing better than some other teams on this list. Hence why I have them at four. Number three, I have the Eagles. I'm not overreacting too much to the loss. I dropped them down, but if they can figure out the offensive like scoring issue in the second half, which is kind of funny because it's like the opposite of last year where we couldn't score in the first half, and then we're like, oh yeah, we'll just do all our scoring in the second and win the game. I mean, I prefer that because we still win the game and can respond in the second quarter or second half. Sorry, but like I said, it doesn't surprise me. It's a Cowboys rivalry. Okay. Number two, I have the Patriots, the evil empire coming back. I mean, they're 10-2. If I'm not mistaken, that is the best record in the NFL right now.
Fortunately.
They were beating bad teams, so I was a little hesitant to pick them to win some games against like good teams. I think it was the Bucks, but they did, and they keep winning. The Bucks were hurt, but they anyway. And then number one, I have the Rams. They seem like a pretty well-rounded team. It seems to be maybe a little issue between like Nakua and Devontae Adams, and like one of them gets all the points, or like fantasy points or like yards, and then the other gets all of them. But I mean, there's worse things to happen. They're pretty well balanced overall. They now have a scary number, like two wide receiver proper option. Last year being, I guess, Cup would have been the number two, but he was kind of inconsistent. But yeah, I have the Rams at one.
Cooper Cup's washed. I know he was your guy back then, Quinn, but he's done. He's done.
Poor
He's on a
guy.
good Seattle team, and he's barely done anything. Sorry. But anyway, speaking of Cooper Cup, his team's number 5, the Seattle Seahawks. They almost let Tennessee back in it. They gave me a little bit of a scare. There's
Yeah.
part of me that worries, is Sam Darnold going to go back to the last 2 games with Minnesota when the lights are brightest and choke? But they still got a really good roster around them. They're young, they're hungry, they're explosive when they need to be. I got the Eagles just above them because, again, got to choose the division leaders. Again, they just got to fix the second half mess, like you said. The defense is still as good as ever. It's just the consistencies, and whether that's play calling or execution or both, probably both. We'll see. Number 3, I got the Denver Broncos, which might be controversial because even I've said, are they kind of like a fluky 9-2 team? Or are they the 2020 Steelers or whatever? I compare them more to the Peyton Manning Super Bowl winning Broncos. This team gives me that vibe. I don't think you watched at the time, Quinn, but I watched football at the time. If people remember the Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, that Broncos defense was one of the best of all time. Peyton Manning's final year, he was awful. Threw more interceptions and touchdowns. The dude got benched for Brock Osweiler. You remember that guy? Yeah. He got benched for him at one point during the year before Peyton came back. It was that disastrous, but the defense carried him to a Super Bowl. And I think this team might be capable of that as well. Now, maybe in more of an offensive era, it's a little bit tougher, but they're definitely capable. They definitely are. And I think they are still just a well-rounded team. It's literally the quarterback that's the issue there. That and then maybe receiving consistencies. But they're still 9-2. Can't complain. I got the Pats at 2. Like you said, Quinn, maybe an easy schedule beneficiary, but still, they've had some impressive wins. They're really consistent. Drake Maye's just really impressed me with the jump from year 1 to 2, how good he's been. And
Yeah.
the defense has been humming. And that's Mike Vrabel's defensive mind. You could tell that's definitely been still in the team. But I agree with you. The Rams are the best team in the league. They're definitely the most complete. They definitely, that front five's pretty scary on that team. And Aaron Donald hasn't even been there for years, but they got a bunch of young, hungry guys there. And the offense, as long as Stafford's back, which I still remember was a big issue heading into the season, as long as that holds up, he can play as long as Brady did in his 40s, because that man looks incredible. The fact that he's still got that arm at this age is amazing. Davante Adams said, like, in a post-game interview, it's like the most fun he's ever played. A little shot at Aaron Rodgers there. Maybe it wasn't so fun playing with him, but who wouldn't want to play with Stafford? That's like a wide receiver's dream to have him as your quarterback with the way he throws the ball. It's like Stafford and Jameis Winston, the two dream quarterbacks for all completely different reasons that you'd want to play for. But yeah, the Rams are by far the most complete team in the league. Look at how they dismantled, yes, an injured, but a Bucs team. So, number one, Rams.
Yeah, jump back to the Patriots for a moment. Yeah, who would have thought Mike Vrabel is a good head coach? Ah, crazy. Who would have thought? Not me. I did. Anyway, but we're gonna move on to some fun segments, and since I did a Wow and Ow recording for last week on a short kind of thing, we're gonna start with Dylan's quote of the week.
Tomlinism of the week. Get it
Same
right.
thing.
Get it right.
Tomlinism.
We do not care. You'll hear that in a second. But yes, our Tomlinism of the week goes to Tom Brady, who said something pretty interesting in the booth. I'll just say that. Hit it.
And now it's time for Dylan's Tomlinism of the week.
We do not care.
And Odighizuwa just blasting through Landon Dickerson right there.
What did he say?
That is pretty much all I'll say on the matter. No comment. Come on, Tom, be better than that.
I did hear more of a K in there, to be fair. But yeah, let's leave it at that. We're not gonna dive into that too much. What we will dive into is wow and wow.
Wow and ow.
Wow. Stokely! Wow! No!
All right.
Shimmy into
We're gonna
that.
start with wows again. We're gonna hit wow first. Classic. Yeah. Also, I appreciate the shimmy. It's a great time. Myles Garrett. Wow. 4 tackles, 3 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. He has 3 forced fumbles on the season, but wow. I mean, I can see why Cleveland Browns paid him. I can see why he also wouldn't want to be with the Cleveland Browns.
Sell
But
out.
he broke the single season sack record for the Browns with 18, which leads the league this year, of course. Surprise, surprise. Now he's going to try and chase Michael Strahan's record of 22 and a half sacks for the season, which, I mean, he's on a pretty good pace to do so. Considering it's only what
I think
13?
Strahan was like joking because he's in the Fox like kickoff show. I think he's like, well, say goodbye to my record because he's getting that. So even he's like admitting to it.
So, you know, when he breaks it, if he breaks this season, you might see him back on here. Foreshadowing? Maybe. Moving on, we have Patrick Mahomes. He didn't play a phenomenal game, 20 for 46, 352 yards, but he did exercise the comeback win in overtime. Classic Mahomes that we're used to get the win against the Colts, put them back into playoff contention.
Yes, keep glazing, Tony Romo. Keep
let's
glazing.
go. That was more of a car sound, but you get the point. And then finally, another wow. I'll give credit to Shedeur Sanders, but also a little bit of a shocked wow to the Browns. Because this is his first start for the Browns. The Browns are like, do we have another quarterback? No, we'll start Gabriel. Who? Yeah, that guy. Yeah, throw him in there. And he didn't do great. But then they're like, all right, fine, you can go in the game, I guess. You can be the starter. We don't have anyone better we can make an excuse for. And he wins them the game. 11 for 20, 209 yards, 1 touchdown. He did throw an interception. but I mean, he had 87.3 quarterback rating, and he showed pretty decent poise in his game. Like Dylan said, yeah, Garrett was surprised when he saw him actually throw a good pass and was like, "What? Browns do that? That's weird." But I mean, yeah, credit to him. Wow, impressive for him actually taking his opportunity and rolling with it. Like everyone expected him to be a first round pick, so I think this is a good sign for him that he can actually do it. Even though the Browns are like, "Oh, all right, get all the quarterbacks out there, not you. You're not here. We don't believe in you." And then he's like, "Huh, let me win the game." So yeah, impressive. Getting another round of applause for them. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. And now for the Owls. We're going to start with the Eagles, unfortunately. Yep. Matulo in the Eagles offense. 24 unanswered points in the second half. Can we score like at least 3 points in a whole half of football? Like, we're not exactly an atrocious team like Tennessee. I'm pretty sure they scored in the second half of their game. Like, jeez. I'm glad we scored more than like 10 points this week, but like, can we score like just enough to win? I'm pretty sure like if you score, looking at our games, if we score like 24, usually we'll win most of our games because of our defense. This week we would have 24 would have been great because it would have taken us to overtime, which, well, actually, I don't know what we would have done in overtime. Probably nothing because we did have a chance to win the game with our offense, and they're like, yeah, nope, nothing. So, yeah, ow. There's a personal ow. Hurts me. I saw my stress levels go up on my
Good.
watch. No, not good. Anyway, another ow, which is kind of a funny ow for me, is the Giants fire their defense coordinator Shane Bowen. Crazy. Who would have guessed?
Long
He blew
overdue.
five two-digit leads, four of them in the fourth quarter, and the reason for his release from the Giants was poor communication, uh, lack of
Gee,
execution, and
shocker.
cannot close out a game. So, not surprising. Kind of a good thing for the Giants getting rid of him, but Al, that you're firing both your offensive and defense coordinators and just like,
And
or
your
sorry,
head
head
coach.
coach. Yeah, and just being like, well, guess we're just gonna start over. Hey, Eagles, can we get one of them there coordinators of yours? Yes, please take Patua. That'd be great.
I think
Anyway,
you guys should kill for Dayball, your Eagles. I'd say that.
yeah, I mean, I would take him as an offensive coordinator. That'd be a great hire next year. Hey, Howie, call him. That'd be a great idea.
Don't come to
Um,
Pittsburgh.
no, come to Philly. We're closer. You already have a Giants player here. His name is Saquon Barkley. Anyway, uh, and then final out. We talked about him a little earlier. Is JJ McCarthy? Is he the guy? Doesn't look like it. 9.
He gets a million
Anyway,
bounces for this game. Ugh.
just go ahead and spam him for me quick. Perfect. Thanks. 12 for 19, 87 yards, 2 interceptions, 5 sacks. Justin Jefferson got 48 yards. As a Justin Jefferson fantasy owner, I am angry at 9. Sorry, 9.
Lowest QB rating in the league this year by far, too. And he hasn't even
Yeah, I think he had
played a lot of games.
yeah, he he had 87 yards passing, but it was like 52 of actual like offense, which is just atrocious. And they're like, Sam Darnold, come back to us, please. We were wrong.
They'll
But
beg for Kirk at this
you know,
point.
yeah. We're gonna jump. Actually, I'm gonna include another ow. And just before these game predictions, go through some of the injuries. So Baker Mayfield hurt. Burrow, he's coming back. But T. Higgins hurt. Stroud in concussion protocol.
I'll
Rogers is
stop.
expected to come back though. No, I like it. Yeah. Daniels is expected to return to practice, but probably won't play. Jason McCarthy's in concussion protocol, so he can't screw up more of the season.
I'm just kidding. Feel better, but
yeah. Josh Jacobs for the Green Bay Motherland Packers might be playing on Thursday. Let's see. Rashid Rice has a hamstring injury. Drake London probably is also going to be out this week. Pickens is also questionable for the Chiefs game.
That's a
And
big
finally,
one.
Marvin Harrison Jr. is ouchied. He will not be playing.
These injuries are ridiculous. I know that's the case every year, but this year just feels like it's worse in terms of stars.
Yeah, it's rough. Definitely rough. But that just means we're done with that now, and we're going to move on over to the game predictions.
Turkey edition.
You stink! Absolutely terrible, man. He's so stupid it hurts.
And we get started. Some fun Thanksgiving games, but first, my record. I made some not great picks, and I went 8-6. Now I have no clue how Dylan did.
Sucker. You want to know how I did, Quinn? I actually paid attention. I went 10-4 this week, which brings my record to 116, 61, and 1. Because I'm better than you.
My record with that increases to 120, 57, and 1.
So you're still doing better. Okay, never mind. You're still doing better than me.
Anyway,
4 games.
But the first game of Thanksgiving is the Packers, the Green Bay Packers at the Detroit Lions. Classic matchup. Well, maybe not matchup, but the Lions are playing on Thanksgiving. Everything seems right in the world. Now, the Lions don't have a great record on Thanksgiving because they're known for being historically trash. What does that mean? I don't know, but I'm picking the Lions. Yeah, I mean, I don't really trust them that much, but they lost in Green Bay earlier this season, so I think they're going to want a little bit of revenge, and they can score a lot. So we'll see how the Packers defense can actually handle them, if they can or not. But yeah, I'm going to take the Lions.
It's like, do you pick the explosive offense or do you pick the elite defense? It's pretty much the matchup there. I'm going to go with the Packers. I'm going to say the Packers beat them twice this year. Detroit, again, historically bad on Thanksgiving. I know they won last year because of the infamous Bears can't manage a play clock to save our lives game. But against Green Bay, I just got a feeling I just trust their defense more. And despite the inconsistencies on offense, I think against Detroit, the Packers seem to thrive a little bit more, even on the road. And right now, I just trust them more. I think they got consistency issues too, but I don't like Detroit that much this season, to be honest. So I'm going to go with the Packers.
All right. And as a reminder, there are no bye weeks this week. Anyway, next game is the Chiefs-Cowboys.
This got
Pickens
interesting.
Is out. Pickens has the second most receiving yards this season currently, I believe, with 1,050.
Wow.
Something like that. But
Not salty at all.
He is out. So Dylan, who do you have winning here?
Both of these teams winning this week made this a whole lot more interesting for the playoffs on both sides. I gotta go Kansas City though, just because of the defense. I know Dallas seems like the past few weeks they're getting a little bit better, but against the Chiefs offense that I think isn't the most consistent but can hum at the right time and is better in situational, I just trust them a little bit more. I trust Mahomes a little more than Dak, even though Dak's been good this year. If Pickens isn't playing, that's huge. But again, just Spags in that defense, I think they'll be able to generate some pressure, wreak havoc on Dak. The running game really hasn't done anything for Dallas this year. So if they could do that, I think the Chiefs win.
Yeah, I also think the Chiefs win. I have less doubts than you because I know the Cowboys, they're trash. Anyway, moving on. We have the Bengals taking on the Ravens, a divisional round for Thanksgiving Eve or evening. Now, this could be interesting because Burrow's coming back. We saw when Lamar came back, he balled out. Now, I'm not saying they're the same quarterback, but they're both very talented quarterbacks. So we'll have to see how Burrow does. But I think I'm going to take, well, honestly, I feel like you go either way, but I'm taking the Ravens because Lamar's been healthier for a little longer. I'm not sure how Burrow's going to do just coming back from injury. And then, I mean, one of his wide receivers is hurt. Jamar Chase is not, which, I mean, is the most important thing. But when you have a great wide receiver to take the pressure off your main guy and just split the defense, it hurts. So I am going to take the Ravens.
I won't even close the back and forth on this one. Ravens, easy. Even Burrow coming back, who knows if he's won 100%. And guess what? He can't fix everybody else on the field. And that's been the problem than the quarterback. Honestly, with Flacco, he's kind of held the weight a little bit. It's everybody else that's doing terrible for them. That's the reason they're 3-8. While the Ravens, they haven't won pretty, but they are one of the hottest teams in the league for a reason. And they're leading an ugly AFC North. I think this is a game where the offense can kind of have a get-back game because they kind of struggled against the Jets. Expect a big day from guys like, maybe Henry is not the most consistent, but Lamar definitely. I'm expecting a big game from him. Give me Baltimore. Easy.
All right, moving on to the Friday midday 3 o'clock
Black
matchup.
Friday. Oof.
It's the Bears taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Bears have been on more of a hot streak recently, obviously because the Eagles just lost. But I'm still taking the Eagles here. I have faith in the Eagles. I don't know how much I should because the Bears have been doing pretty good. And this could be a nail-biter of a game. But last week was a little embarrassing loss for us. I think we'll bounce back.
Give me my upset pick of the week. Give me the Chicago Bears on Black Friday to go at Philly and beat the Eagles. I like their consistency more. Their defense does have concerns. I think literally they're down to their fourth-string linebackers at this point. I don't know if they're coming back this week, but they look pretty rough against the Steelers. But Philly's offense doesn't look good, so there's a fair trade for you. And the Bears' offense looked great against the Steelers. Maybe the Eagles' defense is a little bit better, but I don't know. I like the Bears' vibes a little bit more. Monangai being the new guy at the running back position gives me confidence. And just the way Philly's been not that consistent, I just can't trust them. I trust Chicago more. I'm going to go with the Bears. It's crazy because when this was scheduled at the beginning of the season, everyone, including me, I bet was like, this is your Black Friday game? Now this is a pretty good game.
Yeah, who would have thought? But yeah, you know, it's fair that you picked them. But now getting to the Sunday matchups, we have the Saints taking on the Dolphins. Kind of a coin toss here, but Dylan, we'll start with you. Do you like coin tossing?
I don't like coin tossing. But this isn't a coin flip at all. Miami easily. The Saints have been just miserable to watch.
Trash.
They couldn't even beat a backup Falcons quarterback. So, and the Dolphins low key have been mildly hot. They're kind of creeping in there. I can't believe I don't even want to say playoffs, but Miami's kind of creeping back into a decent record. I'm talking they might finish 8-9 or something. They'll be like the Steelers. Oh, just finish with a good record. That's all that matters. Because Miami's talent's still there in spades. So easily give me the Dolphins.
Yeah, it's interesting that Dolphins are getting better. They're kind of just screwing themselves too because they could get a better draft pick. But yeah, I'm also choosing Dolphins. The Saints. How could you, Saints? I chose you. I debated between choosing you or not, and you said, no, we're going to lose. Haha. So yeah, out of spite, I'm taking Dolphins. No, I'm taking Dolphins because they're better. But anyway, next game we have the Texans came off a big upset against the Bills, taking on the Colts, who just had a disappointing loss in overtime in Kansas City. Dylan?
This one's tough. Two good defenses. Again, like you said, white hot Texans. We don't know Stroud's playing. Maybe most likely it looks like it. I'm gonna go with Indy barely. Not by much. I could see this even being like the Chiefs-Colts game overtime. But I'm going to go with Indy barely just because of the talent being there. And Daniel Jones, despite his inconsistencies, I trust him a little bit more in the clutch than any Texans quarterback right now, Mills or Stroud. Stroud's had a rough year. So if he comes back, I don't know how much I trust him in the clutch. So I'm going to go with Indy. They're just the better team overall.
Yeah, I'm definitely choosing the Colts. I mean, Texans have been doing better and coming back. They've been on a streak, like you said, but I mean, the Colts have just been overall better this year. Daniel Jones is going to have some bad games. That's fine. But Indiana Jones is going to put on his hat and roll up to this game, I hope, and win it. Excuse me. Moving on, we have a thrilling game. We have the Falcons at the Jets. I'm going to spare you trouble and just say I think the Falcons will get this win over the Jets, who still, exact boing. We don't know who they're. Every week is like, who's going to start for the Jets? I don't know. Justin Fields did well 1 week. Trash the next. Who would have thought? But yeah, I've already talked too much about this game. Dylan?
Part of me wanted to go with the upset. Part of me thinks this is just a random game where it's just like an upset that no one cares about, but it happens. But the Jets are down so bad right now. I can't pick them. I got to go with Atlanta.
Yeah. Moving on, we have a game that could very well be an upset. I think a more interesting one. We have the 49ers at the Cleveland Browns. Dylan.
I agree. I think this is a big chance for an upset. I think 2 years ago, actually, the Niners were at the Browns. Similarly, like the Browns were bad, the Niners were way better, even better than they were this year, and they lost to the Browns. So, oh man, it's close. But just because Shador's there, I got to pick the Niners. I just can't trust him against the Niners defense right now, which despite the injuries looks really good against Carolina, who was humming recently until that game. I could see it being ugly, low scoring, but I just can't trust Cleveland's offense to do enough to get the job done. They might have to win like the way they did against Green Bay, where they barely gave up points, which could be possible, but I don't see it happening. So I'm going to go with the Niners.
I was tempted to take the Browns as well, but I take the Niners. They're doing well this season. They just win, so I'm not going to pick against them. Niners. Then we have a more interesting matchup. We have the Rams taking on the Panthers. This could be a very fun, exciting game because it is in Carolina too. So I talked about last week that Bryce Young is doing better on the road again.
And then that happened.
Yeah. But otherwise, he's been doing better at home. So this could be a very entertaining game. But I am going to take the Rams here. I have them number one in my rankings for a reason. I think they're very good. Panthers could be an upset, though. Could be a very fun game.
Not to me. It's a little bit easier for me just because of how LA's been playing. Carolina, I don't think they're as good as their record is. And it's not even that impressive. Like, good for them. It's one of their best seasons in years. But when they lose terribly. They lose ugly, like against the Niners. They get blown out. I mean, the Bills blew them out earlier this year. People are expecting that game to be close. I just think the Rams are going to handle them pretty easily. They're just the far superior team.
Right. Next up, we have the Jaguars at the Tennessee Titans, a divisional matchup. Dylan, who's going to lose?
I was saying upset pick of the week with the Bears-Eagles. Scratch that. This might be my upset pick of the season by a freaking mile. But just F it. I am going with the Titans to upset the Jags. Despite how miserable they've looked, there's a little bit of potential. They looked good last week, the offense. And the Jags are just so inconsistent. They could have easily lost to the Cardinals if Jacoby Brissett doesn't chuck a ball on 4th and 4 when you only need 4 yards. And it's like, yeah, let's just go for the win. What are you doing? But yeah, I don't know why, but I think this is a trap game. It's at Tennessee. It's a divisional game. We know how weird divisional games have been this year. I don't think this is as crazy as people will think. I am going with the Titans to win this game.
So a little behind the scenes, I use a red pen to mark the differences in our game choices. I
Oh,
put a
no.
red B. And I before we did this game, I'm like, okay, I'll put the cap on my pen. I was just fiddling with it, and I'm like, I'll put it on. Like, I kind of have a funny feeling, but I'm like, I gotta put it on. Maybe we'll need it for the rest of the video. And then Dylan's like, I have figured it out. The overthrow of the year. Yeah, I'm taking the Jaguars. I'm not crazy. This might come back and bite me. But yeah, no, the Jaguars are beating the Titans. We just talked about them being like 7-4 and like really impressive for their division. But yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Jaguars. Yeah, I have something from them. But anyway, moving on. We have the Cardinals at the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are still hurt. The Cardinals are just kind of weird. They had an overtime loss last week where there's like, oh, they're gonna win? Oh my goodness! And then they didn't. The Jaguars are like, no, I think we want to win. So now I could see this also being an interesting game, but I'm gonna take the Bucks here, even though they're hurt. I don't know what to think of the Cardinals. I just don't. And so maybe it's a sacrifice I'm making, but I think the Bucks at home will outlast the Cardinals.
Give me Arizona to win. And I don't think this is like a monumental upset at all. Teddy Bridgewater's the backup quarterback, and he looked miserable out there against the Rams. I don't expect him to light the world on fire. And it's not just him. Everybody's hurt on Tampa. Literally every position you could think of is injured. And Arizona, they might be like the unluckiest team in the league. I think, if not almost all 8 of their losses were one possession. Like, they're still a competitive team. They look better with Jacoby than they do with Kyler. So I got to go with the Cardinals. I think they'll win. Tampa's way too injured right now, and they're in a bad midseason slump.
Yeah, actually, you know what? You've convinced me. I agree. The Cardinals will. Wow. Look at you.
I don't think this is anywhere close to a monumental upset with the injuries. Not like the Titans pick.
Yeah, that's true. You know, it just evaded my mind that Baker was out, even though I read that in the news earlier. But yeah, no, that's a good point. Anyway, moving on to the 4:00 games, we had the Vikings taking on the Seahawks. Speaking of our team without their quarterback, the Vikings. Although this might be better for them, actually, although I have no clue who's actually going to start for them because Wentz is hurt. So, random.
Oh, I'm looking it up right now. Rookie quarterback Max Brosmer, who will likely start. That's who's probably going to start for them Sunday. Seattle by 1 million.
Well, hey, he has to do one thing on Sunday, and that's throw it to Justin Jefferson. And then, like, honestly, he just does that decently. He has a good chance of winning, kind of. Anyway, yeah, I'm taking the Seahawks, too. I mean, you said Brock.
You know Darnold's going to be motivated to beat his former team that let him go, too.
Yeah. Revenge game. Ooh, fun. Yeah, Seahawks. Then we have the Bills-Steelers. Big game. Aaron Rodgers might be back.
I think he is going to play, most likely. This is pretty big for the wild card race, this game. I normally hate on my team, but I just got a weird feeling this is one of those BS Steelers upset wins that Mike Tomlin manages to pull through. I'm going to say they beat the Bills, because the Bills they are not the same team they've been the past couple years at all. This seems like it's just Allen and Cook, and then everybody else. The defense usually can be pretty decent, but it's not enough. Like, the offense, the Bills ironically kind of have a Steelers problem. They have no receivers. They didn't try to get anybody, and that's a problem. While the Steelers, they barely have any receivers. While the Steelers have Metcalf, they also have 1 million tight ends that they can use. And if Arthur Smith cannot be an idiot play calling for once in his life, we should be able to win this game. It's definitely winnable. We just got to contain Allen, which is going to be tough. It's going to be a close game, but I'm going to say the Steelers win it.
So the Bills actually just signed ancient wide receiver Brandon Cooks.
Oh. Insert the LeBron meme, though. Oh. So shocked me.
Yeah. So here's my thinking. I think of like the upset stat, right? Of like, sorry, the team gets embarrassed stat. Now, this wasn't as embarrassing a loss as getting blown out for the Bills, but I'd say it
What is
felt
with
more
you
of
and your
like an
freaking
emotional
Colin Coward stat? They both lost.
because
So
it works. So we're doing more experimenting with that this week. Not a huge point deficit, but that it was an embarrassing loss for the Bills. But I also think the Bills could just win this. Steelers are just kind of variable. I don't know. I don't trust them as much as Josh Allen and Cooks. Cooks is pretty good. So I'm taking the Bills.
I mean, the Steelers are a definition of a 9-18. This team just screams it.
You know what? Well, what doesn't scream 9-8 is the Raiders playing the probably does scream it Chargers. I mean, this probably isn't going to be that interesting of a game.
These remaining games, good lord. Chargers easy win. Raiders are a mess.
Lost to the Browns. Jeez. But yeah, then we have the Broncos at the Commanders. Like we said before, Jaden Daniels probably is not playing, so giving the Broncos in there a great defense.
Why didn't they flex this game for Bills Steelers or something else? Give me the Broncos.
Yeah, honestly, even for
NFL can flex games. I don't understand. They know the Commanders have been down now for weeks.
Yeah, even the Vikings Seahawks would be more interesting.
Oh, no, not that. No, it should be the Steelers. That's pretty much the only competitive Sunday game.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the final game of the week. We have the Giants taking on the Patriots. The Giants, with Jameis Winston, have life because Jameis Winston's there. Otherwise, I don't know if they have life. But the Patriots have been great. Patriots will probably continue to be great, so I'm going to take the Patriots in Foxborough to continue their winning streak 11-2.
This one, I mean, it's going to be, I think it'll be close. Just the Giants are just a fun 2-10 team. They're terrible, but man, they're a fun, terrible team to watch. Like, they will compete and play their heart out. So I think this will be another close game. Patriots are a young, inexperienced team, but I got to go with the Patriots.
And with that, we're done with this episode.
Whoa!
It's been great. It's been a while, but we're back.
Quick,
Thanksgiving.
One final thing, or actually two quick final things here. I will say, gamble responsibly. Do not be an addictive gambler, please. But this is just something fun I wanted to do each and every week. Advice. It's basically a bet of the week from any NFL game. I'll choose one. I'll give it a name right now. Dylan's Dare. Dylan's Dare. And I dare you to bet the under on Jonathan Taylor's rushing yards, which is at 85.5 rushing yards. I say you take the under. You know why? Because the Texans are the 5th best rushing defense in the league, averaging 92.2 yards per game. The Chiefs only held them to 58 yards last week. My Steelers held them to 45 last week. And if that's not enough evidence for you to take the bet, let's look at the Texans defense and how they've held their running backs this season. Kyron Williams, only 65 yards. Bucky Irving, 71 yards. He has the most rushing yards against the Texans. That is the most Houston has given up all year. Hit that under for Jonathan Taylor. I understand it's JT, but that Texans run defense is stout. So hit it. Absolutely. And if I'm wrong and you lose your money, it's your problem. And also, too, Quinn, one final thing. Just for fun, it's Thanksgiving week, right? You got any hot takes for Thanksgiving? Food, tradition, anything. Anything that'll just make people mad so they can debate.
I certainly do, Dylan. Now, maybe this is just how my family does it, but we do not have mac and cheese at Thanksgiving. Mac and cheese is a great snack and side, but there's so many things to eat at Thanksgiving. Does it really belong there? Does it? It's a common food. It's not special enough to be Thanksgiving.
Ooh, interesting. Mine doesn't either. My take will be, I'm not even sure it's so much a hot take. It's more just me being upset that these foods get disrespected. Turkey and stuffing are overhated. The disrespect
Yeah.
between these foods is ridiculous, especially stuffing. People crap all over it. It's delicious. It's a nice, scrumptious side to your dish. And turkey's overhated too because people kind of say, it's just there. Like, really, it's all about the mashed potatoes and all the other extra stuff. It's turkey. There's a reason why people like to stuff turkey. It's
the
the
star
tradition.
of the
It's
show.
the star of the show. Stop hating on it and stuffing. It's good. Try it. There's my TED Talk on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And the
Or
show,
you
Quinn.
could even try potato filling. That's a nice, like, Amish kind of Eastern Pennsylvania thing. Very good. But yeah, now that's the end of our show. I had one pen left. Thanks for watching. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you next week with some fun reactions to this week's game. Bye, guys.
Enjoy turkey time. Bye-bye.